So back in my full contact jousting days with the Knights of Avalon, we would travel all over the West Coast and doing jousting shows at Renaissance festivals and all that. And the most fun that I think we ever had was at the Northern California Renaissance Fair. And the actress that played the Queen of England, her name's Dre. Dynamite broad. Really funny, really talented, great actress. And we used to... all of our shows weren't scripted. I mean, we had an order of events that we had during the show. We do the introductions, then the games of skill, and then we do the jousting. And we would really compete against each other during the games of skill and during the jousting too. It was full contact and stuff. But we like to prank each other during the shows. Every show was different practically. And what was it? The 2 o'clock show? I think that was 2 o'clock was the Queen's show. And the Queen of England would come with her entourage and stuff. And so that was a big deal. And we always used to kind of mess around with her. There was a part in the show where I would get arrested by the constables in the middle of the show because I was cheating during the games of skill. And I get sent to the tower, which we had this big castle. And the tower was like 25 feet tall. I get arrested and sent to the tower, and I later on in the show I'd pop up at the top of it, and Bill, the MC, we just started thinking, he's like, "You up there? What are you doing up there?" And I said, "I escaped. I tunneled out." And he said, "You tunneled upwards? You're an idiot." And then I would say something to the Queen to piss her off, to where she would tell Bill to kill me. And how Bill would kill me, he had a flintlock, and I'd be up on top of this box that we had, and I'd be taunting him and shit, and he'd pull it out, and kaboom, he'd shoot me, and I did a high fall off the tower. And every time I would get arrested during the Queen show, I always tried to do something to throw her off guard, just doing some improv and stuff. And I never could pull the wool over. She was that good. I remember one time I got arrested. They took me off the field. I ran backstage, and I had a Halloween costume of the Queen of England. And the gals helped me out backstage, stripped me down, put that thing on. They put makeup on me, a wig, and I'm up in the tower, and I have a microphone on at this point, and it's my cue for me to pop up, do the thing, and I hear her say, "Oh my God!" And Bill's looking at me, and he's like, "Who are you?" or whatever, and I said, "I'm the Queen." And then she just dropped everything. She said, "Who is that pig in a dress?" And I said, "I was going to ask the same thing." And she's trying so hard not to laugh. But meanwhile, her guards and stuff, those guys are turning around just trying so hard not to fucking laugh. And Bill, he's looking at her, he's looking at me, looking at her, looking at me. And he said, "It's like I'm seeing double." And after that, and then Bill shot me, and I had to hike my dress up so I could get over the ledge. So I could do the high fall. After that show, normally she would just leave. She would hurry back to their encampment and stuff. But she made it a point to come backstage and laugh and give me a hug and say, "That was a lot of fun. Thank you for that," and blah, blah, blah. And, yeah. And another time, I went to the thrift store and I bought a bunch of dolls, like these little baby dolls. I probably had like 10 of them. 10 or 15 of them. And and so I got arrested, for cheating during the games, thrown in the tower. "What are you doing up there?" "I tunneled out." "You tunneled upwards? You're an idiot." And I said, "Well, I said, you guys put me in the wrong place or whatever. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, you guys locked me up in the nursery. I said, look, there's babies everywhere. And I'm holding these dolls. And I worked this out with one of the squires. And I'm like, all right, Russ, I'm gonna say it's a baby shower, and I start chucking these fucking babies off the tower. You need to catch all of them. And he's like, okay. So he didn't know that I was gonna fuck with him too. And I said, look, it's a baby shower, and I'm throwing these babies. The crowd's and she gasps, oh my heavens, you know, and Russ, he's catching them all. Boom, he's catching them, and he kisses them, and he set it down on the ground. Boom, catch one, set it down, you set it down. And I'm like, damn, he's really good at this. And I saved the last one. I had it, and I'm like, go long. And so he starts running deep out in the field. I'm like, and then I just held it and just let it drop. And he puts on the brakes. He turns around and he runs. And he dives and he catches it in the air and he rolls onto the ground and hits the castle, shakes the whole damn thing. The crowd goes fucking crazy. I can't believe that he caught it. And she yelled out, she stood up in anger. She said, I cannot believe this. And I said, me neither. He caught every one. So it was fun. It was fun doing those shows, and we had well over 1,000 people per show. We did 3 shows a day. It was so much fun, and I really wanted to cram her so bad. And I mean, I'm half Scottish. The rest is Irish and Cherokee, and more than anything, I don't know if it's an ancestral thing, but I just really wanted to give the Queen of England a good shove from behind, you know, right in the upper hole, right up Main Street. Right in that leather Cheerio. I wanted to mash her dinner in. And I remember fucking... Shit. Even my beer got excited. I remember I told Molly that one day. I'm like, I really want to just give Dre a good shove, you know? And Molly was... she's a bit into her cups, and she thought that was funny. And she's like, all right, come here. And she takes me over to her trailer, and Dre had the best trailer. They had a trailer set up for her, and so she could live in the weekends during the shows. And Molly's banging on the door. Dre, open the door. Dre opens up the door, and she's in her pajamas. She's like, what's going on? And Molly said something like, Jay's here for you. And then she just takes off. And I'm like, hi. How you doing? You know, and she's like, it's not happening. I'm like, shit! And I'm like, alright, well, have a good night. And I just fucking went back to the castle and drank beer. I used to send her fucking love letters, dude. I used to email them to her. I'm going to find them real quick. I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I was only able to find a couple of them. This is like back in like 2004 or whatever. So... yeah, I used to email her letters, trying to seduce her, and yeah, we talked back and forth a bit on email, but she just wasn't interested. So I was doing everything but the kitchen sink at her. So here's the letter I sent her. My dear Dre, things are considerably worse than I have initially imagined. I just saw the movie The War of the Worlds, and let me ask you something. Do you think that life exists outside of our helpless little planet? Personally, I was on the fence about it before I rented that movie. Now I'm entering survival mode. Scholars and scientists are in agreement that life exists in outer space, and it would not be hard for them to find us. The aliens, not the scientists. Especially at the Renaissance Fair. I don't need to remind you of the thousands of people that enter the front gate every weekend that would be helpless against a single tripod attack. If I were an alien in a tripod from outer space that's looking to harvest people for blood, the Northern California Renaissance Fair would be my first stop. And the pretty redhead, that's you, and the beautiful purple dress that is the center of much attention and being guarded by numerous humanoids would most likely be the first to become captured. Nonetheless, I have plans for effective countermeasures that may save us from an imminent tripod attack this Saturday night. First, we get naked and have sex in the jousting arena. I will be there promptly at 9 p.m. This concept may seem unusual, but a tripod is accustomed to seeing its victims flee in terror, and it would be certainly confused to see a hot couple out in the open having sex while listening to the Jay Giles band blasting from a nearby boombox. Then I could hide you someplace safe, warm, and comfortable in the castle tower while I joust the tripod. Kingers can't run so good anymore. That was one of the jousting horses that we had. But I know he'd want to go out with both guns blazing. We can't save everyone, Dre. But we might be able to save ourselves by having efficient Scottish sex before we face certain doom. Die from an alien tripod attack, or have hot sex to save ourselves. It's an easy and mutually fulfilling choice if you ask me. Yours truly, Jay. Oh, this stuff I'm reading is fucking 50 Shades of Jay here. Oh, jeez. Here's another one that I found. The others are gone. I can't find them. I said, Dear Dre, I've decided that we should have sex immediately, and here's why. Did you hear about that comet that hit Peru? I think it was in Peru. Anyways, a meteor hit the ground out there, and some people went over to it, and they got really sick. What if that happened at the Renaissance Festival? What if some crazy comet hit the area, like in that movie Deep Impact? Precautions to prevent such a disaster are impossible, so I suggest that we advance from making out to full-blown sex preceded by a sensible meal in the event of a terrorist attack and or a meteor impact in the Gilroy/Casa de Fruta area. We should not wait on this. The terrorists aren't, and the meteors aren't. I could bring a Foreigner album if you find it at all seducing, because I certainly do. She was a good sport about all that shit. You know, and it got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just kind of fucking around. Just having fun, being creative, send her these emails and stuff. Yeah, that was a lot of fun back in the days. Jousting. Doing those shows. We had some great times. I remember I got in trouble once because I was one of the bad guys. You know, and you know, I get introduced to, you know, I was Steve Squire. We'd come out, they'd boo us, you know, and I was pro wrestling at the time too, and I was a heel, and so I was just doing my thing, and there's I got in trouble because I said some things to a couple ladies out in the crowd. And Lisa, she's the one that ran the festival. She pulled me aside. And Steve is kind of a big deal. She said, I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And the tone of her voice was like, you're in trouble, you know? Ribbit. And she said, Jay, I had a complaint about you. I said, okay, what's going on? And she said, did you tell two ladies in the crowd during the Queen show that they should go to the front box office and buy 2 more tickets because their fat butts were taking 2 seats? That they should buy another ticket? I said, yeah, that's something I'd say. And she said, well, they came back. They're here, and you're going to go out there and apologize. I said, no, I don't think so. I'm going to say it again. She didn't like hearing that. And she said they're very upset. And I said, let me ask you a question. Did they pay to get in this time around too? She said, well, yeah. They paid to get in. They're here. And they were looking for somebody to file a formal complaint against you. I said, okay. Well, they'll be back next week too. And she didn't understand. And I said, look, I insult people, they get mad. You know what they do? They steam on it for a week, and they come back and spend more money at your fair. And they yell at me again. And she thought about it for a second, and I said, they're going to come back the week after next too. And she said, all right, carry on. And I remember one time I was getting yelled at by the crowd. And I said, you sit down and shut your mouth or I'm going to slap that mustache off your face and your boyfriend right there is not going to stop me. And it was at this girl I said that to. And her boyfriend started laughing. He thought it was funny. She got mad. She elbowed him. And did she have facial hair? Not really. But I fucking said it. And apparently it, hit a nerve. She came down the stands. And she started to climb up the fence. And she's had one leg over. And she's about to enter the fucking arena to come get me. And I'm sitting like, oh, come on. But I was thinking, fuck, what if she gets over that fence and comes at me? What am I going to do? In pro wrestling, if somebody runs in that ring, you don't know who the fuck they are. No, you fucking obliterate them. You don't know what they're going to do to you. Am I going to hit a girl that comes in there? No. I don't know. I didn't know what I was going to do. But her boyfriend ran up to her and grabbed her, pulled her down. But that was scary, kind of, for a moment. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do had she come at me. Was I going to run away? I don't know. Grab my bullwhip and crack it or something? And I don't know. But the funniest thing, the most controversial, funniest thing in all the years that we were jousting together, the 13 years that we were doing shows, handsome Johnny Starr, he was a squire with us, and he was Pat Squire, so he was black. He was the villain, the bad guys. And this was again during the Queen show. There's different guilds, they come out and get the crowd going before the show started. And we would, the squires would go out there and set up the weapons racks with lances, spears, some armor pieces, shit like that to get ready for the show. And we kind of mess with the crowd too as we're going in and out and stuff. Johnny Starr was awesome. He would go out there and try and get the crowd going. And his section was right up against the Red Knight, which is Quint. His section. And what the guild, the guy from the German guild, he was out there getting them going, man. He was doing great. He was awesome. He's a black gentleman, and he had a lot of money in his garb. He looked awesome. But he was great, getting them going. And because Johnny Starr's, the Black Knight section was right next to the Red Knight section, and Johnny Starr being on the black team, he was wearing the black surcoat and everything, he didn't like that, and he's like, giving the red section, giving them a hard time and stuff, just kind of heckling them and shit like that. And, time for the show. Bill starts introducing the knights one at a time. We all get out there, and the red section is trying to cheer louder than the black section, and they're going back and forth, and Johnny Starr is trying to get the black section going, and this guy from the German guild is getting his crowd going, and they're having words back and forth, Johnny Starr and this guy, just kind of razzing each other, and the fucking Johnny Starr, he yelled at him. He said, "Do you know what your problem is, sir?" And he's like, "No, what is that?" And Johnny Starr started tugging at his black surcoat. He said, "You're just jealous because you're not black." You could hear a pin drop in that arena. Fucking 2,000 people. Quiet as could be. And I'm sitting thinking, oh, fuck. Lisa just yelled at me for telling these two ladies to buy another ticket because their fat asses were taking 2 seats. Now Johnny Starr fucking just said this to this guy. You didn't know how he's going to react. He just stood there. He just stared at him. And this is what he did. He started just going. He started laughing. Then everybody was all, whew. We never met the guy, prior to that. And Johnny Starr said that to him. And I'm like, man, that's pushing the envelope, dude. But he thought it was fucking hilarious. After the show, he came backstage with us. Hung out, drank beers, met the horses and stuff. Awesome, dude, and a good sport. And I told Johnny Starr, I'm like, dude, you're fucking pushing the envelope there, man. That was pushing it. But, and again, all the shows were different like that. Improv and shit. And I remember one time Pat, we had a show meeting and stuff, and we were just talking about things we were going to do. He said, what's the games of skill? What's the order of the games? Okay, Pat, well, first we're going to do rings, spears, and then the quintain. Okay, quintain last. Okay, got it. Well, as we were doing the spear throw, fucking Pat told his squire to go and steal all the lances off of Quint's rack and bring them over to his, so Quint couldn't compete in the quintain. Like, we did shit like that. Steve, I used to squire for Steve. Sometimes he was pretty bad with his aim at the spear throw. We'd have a hay bale set up with a target and shit, like a little red dot that big right in the middle. You get that, you get the most points. Steve was fucking sucking at the spear throw for a while. So, right when Steve got his spear and he's about to get to the list, all eyes are on him. Everybody's watching him. I ran over to that target and I turned it around and I had a gigantic bullseye this big around on it so that he'd get the points. and yeah, that was a lot of fun. Fucking, I don't think there's a lot of jousting shows that, you know, that are out there and stuff, but there's nothing like us. Nothing like us. And I wanted to do a live stream Q&A with Pat, but I recently found out that he's in prison and he may not get out for 25 years. He was a bad boy, and yeah, I'm not going to say what he did, but it wasn't cool. Allegedly, if he did or not. So, anyways, if you guys like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. I'm going to do, Christmas is right around the corner. I'm going to do a live stream, Shitmas, Saturday. Charity live stream. Send me your poop stories. I'm going to put everything down below. Email me if it's a funny poop story or a funny holiday story. Send it to me anyways at tahoeweather@aol.com. Check out the other stuff I got going on down below. Also, yeah, so that's it. High fives and boners. Fuck, this is a long ass video. Hope you guys have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you do. I hope it's good. And come hang out with me Christmas Day, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on YouTube. Bye.